I'd like to introduce the IBF official supervisor at ringside, Hiawatha Knight from the United States. Assisting the new IBF representative for South Africa, Mr. Shepard Kivitz of the National Commission. Our judges for tonight from the United States, John Stewart. South Africa, Judge Lulamo Mtia and Judge Alfred Bakwana. And our timekeeper tonight, Simon Pue. In the words of Michael Buffer, let's get ready to rumble!
Well, here we go.
Introducing the challenger. On my right in the black and white trunks, weighing in at 53.2 kilograms. He's had 14 fights. That's 10 wins, 2 draws and 2 losses. Hailing from the sunny coast of California, Sam Stewart. And the champion in the black and gold at 53.42 kilograms. He has had 16 fights and 16 wins. His first title defense tonight, Mbulelo Botile.
Referee Christodoulou calls the fighters to the corner, to the center of the ring, go back to their corners, and we're ready for the IBF Bantamweight Championship of the World. Mbulelo Botile, he's defending against Sam Stewart, an American fighting on Independence Day. Do you think this will be any chance for Uncle Sam and the Stars and Stripes?
Well, it's going to be interesting. As I said earlier, that's a great day in boxing history. Are we going to see a great fight and see something great happen here tonight?
It's Botile's first defense of the title. He won in such stunning fashion when he knocked out Harold Mestry a couple of months ago. That wasn't here, that was at the FNB Stadium.
Right, step back. I was eager to see that Stewart came in at... well, that was a very good right hand there from Botile.
Yes, a right hander from Botile went in and staggered Stewart all the way back to the corner. I don't think Stewart was expecting anything of the kind. He's being hit now by pretty good punches from Botile. And we, you know, there's the idea, is Botile a phantom puncher the way he knocked out Harold Mestry? But by crumbs, if he throws more right-handers like that, he's going to knock out a lot of people. Sam Stewart in a lot of trouble here at the start of the first round of this first title defense for Mbulelo Botile, trying to get over the effects of that right hand that banged off the side of his face, trying to keep it in close, but he's got his hands full, keeping away from a very determined champion.
I can see that Sam Stewart is very worried. He's got that worried look on his face, and that shot really shook him. He's only lost 2 fights in his career, one early on at TKO. So Sam, keep the punches up. He's got his hands full here tonight.
And he's walking back into Botile. He's really trying to get into the man. Botile quite happy to lie back on the ropes, keep his elbows in and protect himself as Stewart tries to fight back here. But Botile obviously establishing himself these days as a pretty good puncher.
A very good start here for the IBF Bantamweight champion. Looking very confident, a very confident Botile tonight. He knows he's the champion and he wants to keep that title.
Confidence in that, showing in that style of his. He didn't used to hold his left hand across the body like that. It was always ready for the prodding left, but here he's holding it low down across the body, full of confidence as this young champion.
Good left hook coming there from Botile.
Finding his mark, finding his man. Sam Stewart, having gone the distance and drawn with maybe Jake Matlala, was given the chance of being a very good opponent in this fight, but those right-handers from Botile are really catching him. He's going to have to do something to keep out the way of them.
He hasn't landed one punch on the champion yet, has Sam Stewart, and the champion's landed 4 good right hands to the jaw. Good short there, just before the bell, a little bit short uppercut from Botile. Very good start for the Bantamweight champion of the IBF.
What an excellent opening round that was for Mbulelo Botile.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You're not moving your feet. You're trying to continue to hit this guy in the head. Move your feet when you punch, right? And aim the right hook. Let the right hook go, but turn him into it. Every one of your shots ain't got to be hard. You hear me? Give me a walk. Give me a good breath. Give me a deep breath. Now get it.
Here we have the slow-mo. That right hand that bounced off Stewart's jaw, shook him, sent him staggering back into the corner. That was right at the beginning of the fight, and it was Botile's way of setting his stamp on the fight right at the beginning.
Let it out, let it out.
Well, what a start to this IBF Bantamweight title fight. A very good start by the champion, and he's asserted himself early on. And Stewart knows he's going to have a hard night's fighting here tonight.
He's going to have to produce something good if he's going to keep out the way of that. Bubba Stott in the corner, the American trainer of Botile telling him, use your feet more, don't just stalk after your man. Use your feet and throw your right hand with more aim. Well, if he throws it with the kind of aim that he hit that first punch in the first round, he's going to do a lot of damage during this fight.
It's quite interesting to note that Sam Stewart came in at 53 kilograms, just slightly over 53, which is just on 3 kilograms heavier than when he fought Baby Jake down in Durban.
Of course, well, if you look at his record, he's only really pulled down to just above the flyweight limit on 2 occasions. Most of his fights have been up in the junior bantams or actually in the bantamweight division itself. And I see twice he actually fought as a junior featherweight.
Exactly. So I think he's more comfortable at the bantamweight, and he won't have problems with stamina tonight. He should not have.
Well, Botile keeping the fight at long range. He wants to set his man up with the left jab and throw the right. He knows his right hand can go through. Strange semi-crouching style he's adopting.
Showing a lot of confidence, showing no fear for Sam Stewart.
He sort of draws Stewart with the left jab, lets him come in on him, and then a short right comes right through, and that's the punch that's worrying Stewart.
Stewart's not known as a knockout puncher, so I don't think he's in the fear from Stewart as far as power is concerned. But he's got good lateral movement. He showed in the fight against Jacob Matlala.
Well, Matlala said afterwards that Stewart's one good thing is his rapier left hand. It was a very good left hand, but it's not much in evidence here. Stewart actually backing off more than anything else. Throws a tentative left and then moves away as fast as he can, knowing that if he doesn't get that left hand back as a cover defense, that right hand Botile is going to come over at the top. And there it does. That one shook Stewart again.
And I think that first right hand that got in there by Botile upset Stewart, and it's got him right out of his rhythm. He's trying to work his way back into the fight, and that's not very easy.
Well, it's the stalking Botile here, going forward after his man. Oh, a good left jab. That pushed Stewart's head right back on his shoulders, and the right goes through. And this is Botile now moving into a bit of gear, throwing punches. He rattles Stewart with that punch, and another one goes to Stewart, throwing shots from long range, hoping they'll get there, but he's getting tagged by Botile.
Well, he can't take too many of those. Another very good round for the champion.
I want you to get out there, forget his head. Go to his body and put your punches together. You follow what I'm saying? I don't know what you're doing. You said you dictate the bait. You're the champion of the world. You hear me? You're the champion. He's the challenger. Treat him like that, all right? You're the bigger man. You're missing a lot of time.
Well, there we get slow-mo, and you see that very good left hand from Botile that pushed back, snapped back Stewart's head. Stewart's supposed to be the man with a good left hand. There was Botile throwing, pushing out one of the best left jabs you've seen. And back went Stewart's head. Bang goes in that punch. That's a really good left jab from Botile. And I think if he follows up that kind of punch more often, gets in quicker, uses his feet like Bubba Stott has been telling him, we're going to see a devastating young fighter here.
We're into round 3 of this IBF Bantamweight title fight, scheduled for 12 rounds. It's a very composed Mbulelo Botile tonight.
Stewart trying to make a fight of it, trying to keep it in close. Getting himself a bit tied up with the ropes, but while he's flaming away, he's not really landing very much. Botile got a pretty good defense. He knows how to box, does this Bantamweight champion.
He's picking the punches off and he's landing with his own little short shots in the inside there. I think Stewart's battling to work his way through the champion's guard. He's got no idea how to get to Botile. Botile commanding the center ring, and Stewart's got a real problem in his hands here.
Oh, another left hand. The left hook followed the right hook there. That stung Stewart again. He's taking a lot of good punches as Stewart. He's showing pretty well, but he's getting hit, and that's what's counting, because he really isn't getting anything back to Botile. Does get in the odd left hand now and again, but Botile covering up there, prepared to let him attack him on the ropes, and it's after a flurry of blows like that, it's Stewart who backs up. Botile unravels the mess and pushes his man backwards. Stewart did bounce across Botile's jaw there, but he in turn gets hit with a left hand. This style of Botile's is what intrigues me. It's obviously the American style training, and he's got the American style stance. The right hand drop low, the left hand flashes up from the midriff.
And he's using the counter very well. As Stewart rushes in, he counters him, and that's when he scored. He's got a good few shots there.
I get the impression that he's trying to draw Stewart more. He's trying to get Stewart to come into him so that he can throw that right hand. But Stewart keeps backing off, and that making it a somewhat elusive target at times for Botile.
Well, I think that Stewart has realized he can't trade with Botile. He hasn't got the power, so he's got to work from the outside.
He isn't going to be able to do very much else, though, Ron. That's his trouble. Because without trading, he's not getting in there, and Botile can keep him away as much as he wants to. Botile is the master of the long range.
I want you to move your legs and your hands at the same time. You hear me? But you're out there boxing.
Well, some action here from that third round. I think Botile allowed Stewart to get back into the fight a little bit. Wasn't as good a round as the first two. He commanded the first two rounds, but he seemed to lay back a bit and scored a few counters.
Well, here we go into round 4. Mbulelo Botile on this jumbo cash and carry bull, defending his IBF World Bantamweight title against Sam Stewart from the United States. A pretty good close fight up to now, with Botile really in command for most of it. Stewart not quite able to get to range, to get to grips with his opponent, who is the longer arms, making use of his advantages and showing the better, crisper punching power.
Stewart showing some of that lateral movement that he's known for. Backing off, and a very good lateral movement. Good little mover, and he's got a sharp jab, but he's not using it. I don't think Botile's allowing him to use that jab. Some good tactics there by Botile. Say he moved, turn his man around. He's learning all the time. He's only had 16 fights. This is his 17th fight, and he's coming a long way. But I think winning a title gives a lot of fighters a lot of confidence.
I was giving him a great deal of confidence, you can see that. The way he's stalking around this ring like the old veteran, knowing exactly what he is doing and what he wants to do. Well, he's finding it a little bit difficult at times to get his movements going perfectly against this smoother moving little challenger, but that's really all that Sam Stewart's able to do. He's got to move smooth, he's got to keep out of the way, because every now and again one of those good shots like that right hand land on him and he gets into trouble.
And those right hands are really shaking Sam Stewart.
Botile very much in command of the situation here.
Oh, yes. He's picked up the pace again in this round. He's much slower in the third round, but he's right in command here in the fourth.
He's going into his man, opening him up with a jab, throwing the right hand over the top, and he's catching Stewart with it most times. Stewart gallantly fighting back, but he hasn't got any power really, and Botile realizes it, and so he's not too worried. He's just coming forward, moving on to his man all the time.
That Stewart is from Liberia. He's based in California in the USA. He's 26 years old. He's the older two. Botile's only 22 years old, so he's still got a long way to go. And the young man has got a great future.
That's the one mistake Stewart can't afford to make. When he comes in, leaves himself open like that, and he collected left hands to the head, and more of them go. I mean, if one or two good shots from Botile landed here, Stewart would be in a lot of trouble, because he'd been a bit dazed. As the round ended, that was Botile right on top of proceedings.
Very good right hands coming in at the end of the round. It's really shook Sam Stewart, the challenger.
Give me the bucket. Now you get back out there and let your punches go. The problem is you're not moving this right leg. You hear me? Give it a deep breath. Look, you're a much bigger man than this guy, but you can't continue to try to hit him on the head. You got to go ahead and work the body, and when you stop him, then you can work on the head. You hear me?
Well, here we have slow-mo. That left jab of Botile's going through, and when he does land it, it lands with enough power to push Stewart back so that he can get both a right and then a following left in. One after the other. That means 3 shots in a row that Stewart has to take every time the left goes through. And that is really wearing down Stewart.
Well, pinpoint shots, those right on the jaw, and they really stunned Stewart.
Stay in the corner.
I went to round 5. A very interesting fight, Joe. And so far, it's been all the champion.
Yes, the challenger hasn't really got into any sort of action, any sort of stride that could make him look as though he was really a danger at this stage. He's doing more of surviving than anything else. Occasional spasmodic bursts, but there's that Botile left jab, and it's really the Botile jab, not the Stewart jab, that's dominating the proceedings here.
Well, he's taken command right from the first round, and he stamped his authority on the fight, and he's let Stewart know that he's a champion.
Left welt looming up underneath the left eye of Stewart. He's been hit on that cheekbone so often now. I'm not surprised. The eye is starting to close, and this is only the 5th round.
Well, it's interesting here, Malcolm Stott tell Botile between rounds to work the body. He's been headhunting right throughout the fight, and maybe he should go at the body to slow Stewart down.
Well, he's been told by his corner enough in between each round, they say. Stop headhunting, go for the body. Bring him down, wear him down, but he isn't listening to that. He's going as a headhunter all the way. Perhaps he feels that he's getting through with a headshot so comfortably, he may as well keep doing it. But you do get the idea that now if he landed a couple of good body shots, that might swing the fight even quicker his way.
Well, he's not doing too badly with those right hands, is he, Leonard?
That other right hand we saw just now landed flush on that eye again. And Sam Stewart didn't like it. The eye is taking a lot of punishment. Backing off fast now is Stewart, and Botile right on top of him. It's mainly one-way traffic here.
There's a little bit of blood coming. Is it from the eye or from the nose of Sam Stewart? A bit of trickle of blood there on his face.
I offering very little back. Trying, but there's not much coming through as Botile really is asserting his superiority at this stage.
He's got to go work to the body. He hasn't gone to the body once in this round. And ignoring the instructions of his corner. And possibly he's got to get inside and get a few body shots in, which will slow Stewart down.
There's blood coming down there.
Look at Sammy's nose. It looks like a little trickle of blood coming from the nose of the challenger.
Well, Stewart now starting to look the worse for wear.
Well, he's been taking a lot of right hands right from the first bell.
He's offering very little back in return, trying to be defensive, occasionally swinging one, but he hasn't got much to come back with.
An excellent round for the champion.
Put your hand down. Give me a deep breath. Let me see. Now, come on. Vaseline, Z. Look here. Vaseline. Okay. Give me the water. Give me some water. Give me a deep breath.
You're not getting fat. You're not working on that. So, you feel okay? You okay? Huh? Okay, see?
When you throw the right hand, I want you to let the left hand go.
3, 4 punches.
I don't want this.
One
punch. If you think you're going to get this guy out of here with one shot,
that's all you have to do. Every time you throw this,
give me a deep breath. Give me a deep breath. Move your feet and go out there punch. This is a small guy. You cannot afford to miss. You miss on top. He's underneath you.
Round 6 coming up, and Mbulelo Botile has been told in his corner, if you think you're going to take this guy out with one punch, think again. Maybe some wise words there, because Sammy Stewart, for all his shortcomings in this fight, is a tough little customer. He's taken good shots, he's taken them well, and he's still there. Botile picks up the pace every now and again, and then goes back to that walking style. He needs, as his corner tells him, move your feet more, get more into the action, throw more punches, and follow with the left hook off to the right hand.
Well, he's got to work underneath and work the body and then go for the head, and he's not doing this. He's got to throw punches in bunches. He's throwing 1, 2 at a time, and he's trying to take out Stewart with one shot. And this is where he's making a mistake.
The thing is that when he does land that good left jab of his, he can follow through with 2 or 3 more shots and have Stewart on the defensive with them all, and they might, at least 2 of them get through each time.
He knows he's in command, yeah, and he's just taking it easy.
And there you get the answer to what is happening when Botile really unleashes. He can land 3 or 4 shots with nothing coming back from Stewart.
Right.
Stewart looks in good condition, but he's been taking a bit of a pounding in the last 2 or 3 rounds. And can he go 12 rounds at this pace?
He's in trim condition as this little fighter. He's fit. He can go the distance if he has to, but he's going to take an awful lot of punishment along the way unless something dramatic happens to change his style and his whole approach to the fight. Now he's trying to give it all he's got, and what he's really doing is banging in shots against the elbows and gloves of Botile. He's quite happy to let him go on with a little bit of that.
So Botile feels got the strength, he's got the edge on him, and he knows it. So he just lets him bang away and then pulls out and comes back at him.
And after that expansion of energy, Stewart finds himself again on the receiving end as Botile turns on the pressure, forces him backwards, left hand's going in, and rights to follow, and now it's all Botile. Action galore. Now he's really stepping up the pace. It's getting a cracking pace now, and this is what he needs to do. Keep on top of his man, keep throwing those shots. A left hook like that, it's hurt Sammy Stewart right down to his toes.
Then he makes a mistake again, he backs off and he lets his man off the hook. He's got to throw more punches, because I'm sure he's got the power to take out Stewart. Another easy round for the champion, and he must be at least 4 to 5 5 points ahead at this stage of the fight.
Well, here we get slow motion again. And the hooks coming in from Botile. This is where Stewart tried to force him onto the ropes, try to keep him going back for those few moments when he was on top but not really scoring much. And then Botile swings him around, and in no time, it's the champion back in command of the entire situation.
You get the impression that the champion is fighting well within himself. He's just pacing himself. He's not overextending. So looks calm and collected in his corner, listening to his corner man Malcolm Stott.
Right there, champ.
We're into the 7th round of this IBF Bantamweight title fight with the champion Mbulelo Botile completely in command here in the 7th round.
Yeah, the halfway stage, and it's not even a halfway fight. It's really one-way traffic. Stewart has put up occasional forms of resistance, but he hasn't had much to offer in return. And Botile has really outboxed him, out-jabbed him, out-hooked him, outdone everything. And a good right hand goes in. Now it's Botile back to the stalking situation, looking for his man, looking for the opening, the jab and the right hand to go through after it.
I think the champion's got to pick up the pace. He's completely in command, and he should pick up the pace. And I'm quite sure he can take Stewart out before the end of the 12 rounds.
Yes, he does give the impression of being perhaps a little bit languid at times. You know, when he could be doing so much more. He'll throw good punches, he'll hurt Stewart, he'll have him backing up, and then he'll get back to the good old stalking operation. Not like that, though. That was a good left and right hand that went through. But he's throwing them in 1-2s, 1-2s.
Then again, Stewart's a difficult target. He's got that good lateral movement, and it's not always that easy to get to him.
He has Stewart, really speaking, so much at his mercy that he could be trying a variety of shots. If he opened up with 4 or 5 shots in a barrage in one concerted movement, I think you'd find Stewart in an awful lot more trouble than he is.
Very little happening this round. Not much coming in from either fighter.
Stewart very much fulfilling the role of a survivor at the moment. Occasional outbursts, but Botile prepared to let it go on at the pace he wants it. Stabbing the left. Another left goes in, follows to the right. But he delays the delivery of the right after the left so long that the full reaction is not there.
When he throws that right, he shakes and he stuns the Stewart. And he's done it on quite a few occasions during the fight. I believe he should pick up the pace. He's fighting at too slow a pace.
Stop! Corners.
Stewart something. Botile, you're champion of the world. You follow what I'm saying? Okay, we work every day in the gym, am I right? Am I right? Where you from, Duncanville? You don't think I'd want to get up out of there? So let me ask you something. I want you to get out there. I want you to throw some punches. I'm sitting there pleading with you to do something that we do every day.
I feel. Okay. So now, same way, okay? Make him miss the counter. Make him play. So stay right hand, please, man. Please. And come down to the left too. Double up his jab, okay? You got it?
Double up your jab all the time, okay? Box! Get a move on there.
Well, into round 8 of this title fight, and It looks as though the champion's gone to sleep. You could hear his cornerman, Malcolm Stott, pleading with him to throw more punches.
He's doing just that now. They're telling him, do what we told you to do in the gym, what you do in the gym, and that's throw punches. Get out there and keep throwing them. And that's what he's trying to do now. And frankly, if he did it, I think he'd find that Stewart will give way under him. But he hasn't been trying enough to really upset Stewart. Now there's a good right hand that goes through. Stewart clutching now. And if Botile keeps up at this pace, this is what he needs to do. Command the entire situation, and Stewart will not be in the fight.
And you can see he's possibly throwing him too far out. He's got to get inside and let him go to get the strength in his punches, which he's not doing.
Well, that's better. There's more. He needs to be doing this. You know, up to the end of the last round, this fight was starting to get positively boring. It was just the same old story round after round, and nothing positive was happening other than Botile was in command and he was doing the right things. Now that's better. A jabbing left. He follows quickly with the right, but he needs to keep going like that. Throw more. Bring him underneath.
He's in complete command. He's got to get in and take out Stewart. That's the type of punches you want to see.
He hurt Stewart with that one right-hander. That was a banging shot. Now he's looking for another one to land like that. Stewart is in trouble, and this is what Botile needs to be doing. That little bit of a verbal battery that he took in the corner at the end of last round has done him some good, and now he is really coming out. This is what he needs to do. Keep going, throwing punches. Another right goes through. Stewart battling to keep going.
And yet, amongst all that, Stewart still got that good lateral movement, and he's starting in quite a few of those punches. Botile's not landing with everyone as he should.
Wait, go back.
That is the first punch underneath the guard that Botile is throwing, and he should have been doing lots more of those.
He's not working the body. No body shots coming in. He's got to do something about work the body and get inside. He's in complete command, but he can do much better.
He's jabbing, and he's landing with a jab and then standing back. He's not doing anything after it.
Stop! Corners.
Another commanding round for the champion, but it's still not good enough. Some action from that 8th round here, and you can see that overhand right from Botile, but he's not throwing enough of those shots. He's got to throw them in bunches, throw 1, 2, 3 combinations. He's got the power, and he knows that Stewart can't hurt him.
And do what we do in the gym right here, because this guy ain't nothing. But you follow what I'm saying? You hit the guy on top of him, you hurt him, and what do? You go back to the head. Stay downstairs. What is this guy? Botile.
Well, it's round 9. Mbulelo Botile defending his IBF World Bantamweight title against Sammy Stewart. And up to now, well, I don't think that Sammy Stewart's really taken a round. It's been Botile all the way. But, you know, I think the whole problem here is that we're seeing something unfold in front of us. That Botile is the kind of fighter who, if he is attacked and put under pressure, really comes out at his best. But when he's got to stalk after a man, he's like so many other composed, confident fighters. He just goes forward and does what he has to do without overexerting himself.
Well, he knows he's got the fight, and why should he do more? He's composed, and he just does enough. Well, that's a bit better from the champ. Good shots coming there from the champion.
Banged a left hook off the chin. Sammy Stewart trying to make a fight of it. And this is when Botile should be at his best. When Sam Stewart comes on top of him, this is when he should be picking off his shots and stopping his man.
But all credit to Sammy Stewart, a gutsy little fighter. He's been right in front of Botile all the way. He hasn't stepped back, and he's trying to make a fight of it.
One good right hand banged off Stewart's jaw. He took it well, and he actually crowded on top of Botile.
Referee Stan Christodoulou, who's refereeing his 69th world title fight tonight. Must be closing on the record of all-time record for a number of world title fights. Can't be many other referees in the world ahead of Stanley Christodoulou. And handling the fight very competently again tonight, as usual.
Well, this is only Sammy Stewart's 15th pro fight. Good amateur record. His 15th pro fight, but he gives you the impression straight away he's the kind of fighter that's going to be around for quite a long time. Takes his shot well. He's taken 3 in a row there, taken them extremely well. He's a surviving type, but right now he's getting hit, and he's getting hit with good shots from Mbulelo Botile.
The champion's just picking him off now. In complete command, and he knows it.
Botile finding his target better now. The left hook going in, but he should be doing more. He should actually be firing on all cylinders, and he isn't.
At this stage of the fight, he should have picked up the pace and throwing 3-4 punches in a row. He's still throwing 1 punch at a time, which is not good enough. When he comes against better opposition, he'll be in trouble. But possibly he's only fighting as good as he wants to, because he knows the opposition's not so good. He looks like a lazy fighter, and you get a lot of fighters like this. When the opposition's better, they will lift their fight plan, they'll come back faster.
Well, it's the old story. He's fighting as well as the opposition will allow him. And that's what it amounts to. He's in total command, but Sam Stewart isn't attacking him, and he's just going through the motions and winning pretty comfortably.
Lieutenant, talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Are you hurt? Kurt, what's the deal? Are you
Well, I can see Botile possibly going to land. Oh, he got pushed off with a right hand. One of the few that Sammy Stewart's landed. But there again, that right hand came Botile, but only throwing the one and then missing with the left, and that's not good enough. He's got to throw 2-3 on the target. But fighting a real lazy fight here tonight is Mbulelo Botile.
Trouble is, those right-handers too are being thrown from too far out. They're not carrying much power behind them, and that's what letting Stewart off the hook so often.
We're into round 10 of this IBF Bantamweight title fight with the champion Mbulelo Botile from South Africa in complete control against his challenger from Liberia, who's based in the USA. It's interesting to note that Sam Stewart is 26 years old and Botile's 22 years old. Sam Stewart only started his professional career in '92, and Botile at the young age started in '89.
Well, Stewart, of course, from Liberia, as you say, 4 years in the United States. Somebody said to him the other day, "Sammy, are you a Democrat or a Republican?" He says, "I'm a Los Angeles man."
Well, he's done very little here tonight. All he's done is shown courage, and he's soaking up a lot of punches here. He's just been too small to get to the champion.
Getting beaten to the punch by the left jab from Botile. Botile's left jab has worked well here. There it goes. It's finding its target. But you have the feeling when it does land so well, you want him to come through with it, but he's not. The crowd calling to Botile, go, go, go. But he's prepared just to jab, jab, stand off. I think it's getting pretty frustrating to his corner as well. They're getting worked up in between each round. In the in-between rounds now, they're really going at him in that corner. He's taking more punishment, in their words, than he is from Sammy Stewart.
Well, it's easy for them to talk. He's inside there with a man who's moving, got very good movement to Sammy Stewart, and possibly it's quite difficult to get him at times. And this is making it difficult for Botile.
Well, there's Botile actually going backwards. I think with the thought in mind of maybe Sam Stewart will come out and attack him, and that's what he wants. He wants to get into a bit of a punch-up. I think that's what's really needed for Sammy Stewart to open up, and then we'll see the better part of Botile.
He's going to get in close and possibly counter him.
But each time it's one punch, one or two. Oh, a good right hand there. Landed and another one banged off Sammy Stewart's jaw. The little fellow from Liberia showing lots of pluck here. Staggered a couple of times. And as the round ends, he is in a little bit of trouble.
That's what Botile should have been done earlier on the fight. The last few seconds of the fight, he was throwing bunches of punches, which we need. And we could stop the Stewart.
Look, you got the guy. Okay.
Well, we have a bit of slow motion here. And we also have a slow Chochalaza being sung in the background. It even faded out. There's not enough enthusiasm coming among the singers at the moment.
Well, it's not a very exciting fight. It's just the champion going through the motions and picking off his challenger.
6 minutes of boxing to go in this IBF World Bantamweight title fight. Sammy Stewart in the black and white trunks against the world champion Mbulelo Botile from the Eastern Cape, or the border region, call it what you like. And at this stage, after 10 rounds, well, Botile must be the distance from Gauteng to the Eastern Cape ahead on points.
Well, my scorecard, Leonard, I've got Botile 8 points ahead. I've given 2 rounds even. It's only because nothing happened in those rounds. Not that Stu did anything. It's only because Botile was fighting in slow motion, and possibly I thought they were even rounds. But he's a good 8 points ahead.
It's certainly been a slow motion Botile for much of it. He's in command, he's been there all the way through. But just doing enough to take each round by a comfortable points margin. No knockdowns, everything going to order. Sammy Stewart trying his best, but not up to the standard of a really good world title contender.
Well, and possibly again, it's a good thing for Botile having his first defense and having a good workout. If he'd have come in here and knocked him over 1 or 2 rounds, wouldn't have done him any good. So he had to work tonight, and can only do him good for the future.
Well, this is Botile back to the plodding rate again. One punch, and then the occasional 1-2.
But he doesn't
posing more than actually fighting.
When he fights a #1 contender, when he has his mandatory defense, he won't not take it as easy as this, because he'll have a fighter who's coming at him. Sammy Stewart's still there, and never looked like going down at any time during the fight. He's taken Botile's best shots, and he's come back at him.
Only once right at the beginning when Botile caught him with that one good punch that staggered him back to the corner in the first round. We thought, oh, this is going to be a quick trip. But Sammy Stewart showed a lot of courage, a lot of good movement, very good defensive type and a stayer. That's what's counted.
Well, he must be in good condition to stand in there for 10 rounds and take the shots he has taken throughout these 10 rounds.
Tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if you don't find fight, Sammy Stewart being invited by other holders of World Bantamweight Championships to fight him, because they'll all see this is the kind of fighter you can go along with. He'll keep you going, but he won't beat you.
Well, look at see Sam. Okay, we've been here for about an hour and a half. Doing the same goddamn thing. Here. Come here. Botile, if this is the only round, I can tell you really that this guy's gonna try to knock your head off. So if I suggest you, I keep my hands up real high, because he ain't got nothing to lose. And if you got the world title, you got a lot to lose. So if I was you, I'd go out there, keep my hands high, and work my punches, since it was gonna be a 12-round fight. Botile, don't get lazy out there, because this guy is trying to go and knock your head off. You hear me? Hold on.
Well, here we go into the 12th and last round. I don't think many people thought it was going to last this long. Most critics thought, well, Botile, after the way he knocked out Hammanskraal to win the world title in 2 rounds, he should be able to take out Sammy Stewart and around about the halfway mark. But here we are on to the final round of this 12-rounder. Sammy Stewart's still there. He hasn't done much other than survive the way through. He's taken a lot of good punches from Botile, but Botile's fought a very languid, easy-going type of fight. Been in command the whole way through, and looks like he's just going to coast his way through to a very, very comfortable decision.
Well, his problem has been he's been throwing his punches from too far out, and as you get in closer, you get more power. He hasn't had the power in his punches, and this is possibly why he can't stop a man like Stewart. But all credit to Stewart, he's in excellent condition, and he stayed the 12 rounds. He still looks quite good at this stage. But his only hope was with a wild knockout punch, and I don't think he's got that.
Well, one thing you noticed there, Stewart slung over a right and it landed. Not a lot of power in it, but it landed. And Botile, with his style that he's adopted now, with his hands held low, his body very erect, his face is very, very open, and he can be caught by a good overhand puncher. I think he'd have to be somebody a little bit taller, a little bit bigger than Sammy Stewart. But Botile, while looking good, and he's been in total command all the way through, one would like to see him just be a bit more dramatic, a bit more forceful in the action.
You can see that Stewart's eyes are starting to puff here in the 12th round. That's because of all the punches he's taken right throughout the fight. Well, it's the same old pattern right throughout the fight. Hasn't been a very exciting fight, completely one-sided. Botile, the lazy style, just pushing out the punches, picking them off and landing the one shot.
There's the left jab going through, 2 left jabs, and then the right follows. Now Botile is picking up the pace. Now he's going after his man. Throwing right-handers. Looking for the one-shot knockout. And he's in command, but Stewart's still slugging back, trying his best, trying to keep in the fight. He's been there all the way through. He's a gallant little fighter, is this.
Same old story again. Botile throwing one punch and standing back. Exactly the same. He knows he's in complete command, so why should he take a chance? Another couple of minutes and he's retained his title.
Well, there's nothing that Sammy Stewart has left to do any damage, and that's the end of the fight. It's been 12 rounds. It's been a World Bantamweight title fight. Mbulelo Botile, and I think we can safely say a very, very comfortable winner. We'll wait for the result. The judges' scorecards have to be added up, but I can't see any of them having given anything.
Now walk around.
Nearer than what, Ron? 9-10-point difference to Botile.
It's a completely one-sided fight. As Botile complete command, but a little bit disappointing. I expected much more. As you see some action here from the 12th round. This possibly was a pattern right throughout the fight. Botile started so well in the first round. We thought we were going to be for an early night. but he let Stewart off the hook, and right throughout the 12 rounds, throwing one shot at a time.
Yes, there's that jab going through. But you know, it shows Botile is really what you can call a languid fighter. I wouldn't call him a lazy fighter. He's languid. He's prepared to let the fight proceed at its own pace. If the other guy's not going to harm him, he's going to just go along and win as it goes. If the other guy's going to fight him and come at him, he'll stand up there and throw the big bombs, and that's when the Harold Mysteries of this world are in danger of being knocked out.
Well, he was fighting at his own pace, which was good enough, and he wins at the end of the day, so what more does he want? Why take chances? And I think this is his style. He's adapted, and it's successful. He must be a good 10-point winner here tonight.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see how these judges score the fight, but I think we're right when we say we'll talk about 9 or 10-point margin. It must be around about that.
Quite interesting note, they've got a lot of confidence in our South African officials. Lemam Mitchell and Alfred McConnell from South Africa, and Stanley Christodoulou as the referee, and only one outsider, John Stewart from the USA.
Well, John Stewart's been judging fights for 13 years, should know what's going on in this ring. He's one of the most experienced judges in the business.
And here we go over to our ring announcer for the decision.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go down to the scorecards. Judge Mtia scores the fight 119 to 109. Judge Stewart scores the fight 118 to 110. And Judge Bakwana scores the fight 118 to 110.
8 points.
The unanimous and still the IBF Bantamweight Champion of the world, Mbulelo Botile.
Well, that's as we had it drawn. 10 points by one judge, 8 points by the other two. Fair decision, no doubt about it. Mbulelo Botile, a very, very easy winner in the first defense of his IBF Bantamweight title.
Well, like I say, call it a workmanlike defense. That's all it did.